Hello everyone, Solution here again. Welcome to Studio One. Today we'll be talking about equine vocals. But the way you're new here, please subscribe, like, and share. Very important to subscribe. Let's move on. So, when it comes to treating vocals in general, actually, not just for Studio One, um, it's a very basic concept actually. Number one rule that I would like us to know is that number one for me is that first, your ears needs to be good. You need to be a good listener. Sure, it varies from individual to individual, from person to person, but in general, you should be a good listener. You should be able to listen well when you want to mix. If you're able to listen well, understand what you need to take off and what you need to add, where you need to add something. So let's quickly do something. So right here, let me add this. Count one, input one. Good. Okay. Okay. So there's a latency there. Let me take off the monitor. So right now I'm receiving signal from the mic I'm currently using. Let's take off the browse option. So now mind you again, there are two kinds of mixes you're going to be doing when it comes to talking. These different stuff for it. Basically it has to do with the low cut or high pass filter as you may have. So let's just go for it. For one, let's deal with the speech. So let's record. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. So let's leave that at that. That's one. And let's do another one. Let's see. Okay, let's sing this time around. Today we are talking about that's right. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Okay, so that should work. Let me take up this first. I don't really like this part, this first one. So yeah. So now let's deal with the speech first. Now let me separate this over here. Okay. So let's play. So I'm saying today. So now this is the speech. Now let's quickly sort the speech. Now to make it easier, I'm going to be using just the stock plugins on Studio One, Personal Studio One. So mind it also is also the same like with others. Yes, let us loop this guy. Looped. So out equalizing vocals. Today we're talking about equalizing vocals. Now mind you, so when you want to do this, the first thing here I'm doing is a low cut. Today we are talking about low cut is what I want to do first. Now while cutting this low, the lows, the rubbles I don't want in it, what I'm trying to do first of all is to avoid the body of the vocals. That's one thing you need to take note of in anything you want to mix, in any instrument you want to mix. Always avoid cutting off the body of that particular track of that particular instrument unless it is needed. Unless it's trying something you're trying to achieve. If not, avoid cutting the body. So let's move on. So the speech, equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing. See, right now I already cut out the body of the vocals. So let's leave that. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Now somewhere around there it's okay. Equalizing vocals. That is for this particular mic, for this particular voice. I'm not an EQ4. Today we are talking about this is okay. Equalizing vocals. Today this low cut is actually okay, but the low cut I'm currently using now is 138 Hz, 138 Hz frequency. That's the frequency where the low cut is now. Mind you, for singing it should be higher. It's definitely be higher. We'll make a comparison now. But take note that right now, what we are looking at right now, the body of the vocal is around here, 138 Hz. The body of the vocal starts from there. That's a low cut for this. Now, let's drag this guy into the next one. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Now mind you, this time around what we're doing is the singing. Okay, so that's today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Now mind you, see? Today we are talking about equalizing. Let's move it up. Okay, now this is low. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Now mind you, see, it has moved up right now. Talking about equalizing vocals. If I do this, if I cut up to this frequency for the speech, I will not get, the body will be taken out. But it is okay for when I'm singing right now. About equalizing vocals. Now that's for the low cut. Now I talked about additive and subtractive EQ once. Okay, additive EQ is basically you just adding. For example, I'm boosting. This is an additive EQ. Subtractive EQ is just me subtracting. That's subtractive EQ. Now, if you're using the appropriate mic for your artist or appropriate mic for what you want to do, you don't really need to cut. You don't need to subtract or add drastically. You don't really need to. But if you're not using the appropriate mic, then you might have to start doing a lot of equalization and compression to make up and achieve what you initially wanted to achieve in the first place. So what I want to do right now for this is just talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Okay. Today we are talking about equalizing vocals. 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 Today we so what I'm after right now in this part equalizing. Okay. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Oh, that's we don't want this in this part. Equalizing. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing. So I'm saying today we are talking about that's a bit of additive EQ over there. Today we are talking about equalizing. No, I don't want this there. So I'm saying these are around 3K. Today we are talking about and also you could always equalizing vocals. Just do a reverse. Today we are talking about equalizing. Okay. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. And also Prisoners to the one with the preset on the stop plugin that allows you to run in dynamic. Today we are talking you can activate your dynamics over here. Equalizing vocals. So what I want to do generally actually prefer to just so I'm saying today undo that. Talking about I was trying to achieve something but that is not working. Today we are talking about equalizing. So I'm saying today we are talking about equalizing vocals. Today we are talking about equalizing. So I'm saying today we are talking about okay, but this part doesn't mind it. What I'm talking about right now is majorly this. When you're EQing vocals and we're EQing speech, that is when you're EQing the person singing and the person talking. The low cut you're doing or the high pass filter varies. So very importantly listening for the body of the music. Very, very important. Always listening for the body of this person, of the instrument. Because where does the body lies? Very, very important. Very, very important. I'm currently using a Shure SM58 for this. But if someone else grabs this mic on a vocal, it's possible I might have to take this low cut lower. Just to avoid the rumble in the low end. Because their body might actually be a bit low, maybe around 100 hertz. And for a female speaker, it could be higher, maybe around 180 hertz for talking. But for singing, it's usually from 180 and above, depending on the singer. Note, depending on the singer. Thank you. I'll see you next time. This is Solution.